Powered armor just helps my troops. Robominers, there we go. That's what I want. Generates 10 production base and improves the production of each worker by +2, and it does stack with the automated factory, which means I'm producing 15 passively and all my workers get +3. Super good. Now I'm going to go down the chemistry branch. I'm going to research the advanced metallurgy, and then I'm going to get advanced chemistry, which unlocks merculite missiles. We're not actually going to use the merculites, but it's going to be quite key to get to this level. And it's pretty easy to research, so I'm going to go down there. And once we get those two technologies, we will start building our military. We will need a starbase to be able to build decent-sized ships, but we'll get to that when we get to that. A farming leader. Actually, yeah. I can install you on Brussels, which doesn't have a leader and is doing them on farming. That would hopefully free up some guys. You're not too expensive either. Yeah, we're at +5 food, so let me take a couple of guys off farming. Perfect. Speed up the research. Oh yeah, I can't rush by the starbase because it's blockaded. We're still building spies. We got 4. We're not getting pop-ups about it anymore, which is nice. Fucking Nolums. Well, I'm happy I declared peace with the humans. In fact, any chance you want to trade? No. I could probably give you tech, but I need ships, otherwise these guys are going to dogpile all over me. If we can get to this point without things going too badly, we will have some extremely good ships. But we have taken a considerable risk. I mean, we're not that much at risk. Again, our planets are fairly well defended by passive defenses, but ooh, you're good. Spiritual Leader gives you a 22% morale bonus here, which improves everything your planet does by 22%. Also, Diplomacy bonus, which is going to be good for just, getting negotiations and stuff. Famous will make future people cheaper. Also, potentially attracts more. Increases the chance to recruit other officers and decreases the cost of hiring. Yeah, I'm going to take you. And the Silent Steel Powered Armor. God damn it. I'm going to replace Magistrate Kimbuzu, because he gives +30% farming, she gives +22% everything. And I'm actually going to just... he's only 1. No, I'm going to fire him. I don't need him for now. Boink. May as well save the 1. There we go. That should be much better. Should increase our research. Will increase our production leader. So we're almost at the tech. Estimated 4 turns. They bring in more ships to Zib. Merculite missiles. Pollution control facility. Okay. Good. Now we have the tech we want for the ship that I'm looking for. I'm going to start researching positronics. We'll go back to our technology route. It'll be pretty important. Now, let's... Oh yeah, we got to finish our starbase. Ugh, it's only 11 turns though, so that's good. So, actually, if we have 11 turns, is there another tech we may want that'll help us before that finishes? I could get shields. In 12 turns, approximately. I think that's worthwhile. So what do they got now? 2 destroyers. Cylon Spy steals battle stations. Now, I'm not too concerned when the Cylons rob from me, because eventually they're creative. They'll get all that eventually. It's still not great, but see, and now I got freaking 6 spies, and they have 1, and they're still robbing me. None from them. How about the humans? None from them. 1 spy. I have 6, and they still steal from me. So sick. Cylons and humans are at war. Well, that's good for me. I guess I could rush the starbase. Yeah, okay. We'll rush the starbase, and... Oh, duh. We want our production facilities. I should have built them first. Yeah. I should do that everywhere too. Is make sure that we've got Robominer Plant Pollution Processor. We'll move the starbase underneath it. We'll delete that spy. And here... Actually, there should be a button to just clear the queue. Robominer Plant Pollution Processor. And we'll start on a battle station. They don't lose any production if you move things around like that. It doesn't hurt them. All the pollution, all the production gets applied to the new thing on top of the queue, which is why the Robo Miner plant will actually finish in one turn, and it should overflow into the next one, I think, or turn into extra money. Either way is fine. Now what? Cylons, say hi. Non-aggression pact, yes, I accept. That sounds lovely. Now what? While carrying out secret high-level experiments, Bulrathi scientists stumbled upon the secrets of advanced metallurgy. Oh, so they get a tech for free, or a tech faster, maybe. Defending spy was killed. Blah, these spies. But I don't want to build spies right now. I need stuff. Pollution processors starting on a battle station. That's Zib. I could have Zib just build a ship. Let's design a ship. Oh, they can't build anything big. I guess they could go and build is that a destroyer? Special system. Battle pods are good. So, battle pods cost a fair amount, but just give you 50% more space to install stuff on your ships. So your ships end up being more expensive, but being much more effective. And it's usually worthwhile. I usually do it. So, okay, here's the deal with the missiles. Let me install one Merculite missile and one nuclear missile, and we'll compare the two. So, the Merculites they cost about twice as much, take almost twice as much space, and deal almost twice as much damage. Okay? Pretty straightforward. So, why pick one over the other, in a sense, because I could just fit twice as much nuclear missiles as Merculite missiles, so they're kind of even. There are other advantages to having the higher damage ones, because things like shields, in addition to just soaking, having a certain amount of hit points, they also reduce incoming damage by a certain amount. So when you're dealing with things like shields, it's generally better to have fewer high damage things than more low damage things. But it's not quite that straightforward in this case, because what we have done is, by researching further down the tech tree, so these missiles are based on chemistry, by going down the chemistry route, we have miniaturized the nuclear missiles. They used to be bigger. They're smaller now because we've miniaturized them. But I mean, that's obviously, it's not the big deal here, because the Merculites would still be better on that ground. But it also unlocks certain improvements for them, including MIRV, which I believe stands for Multiple Impact Reentry Vehicle or something like that. Basically, each missile contains 4 separate warheads. They separate just before they hit. So these do quadruple damage. Now, they do increase the size and the cost, but all they do is they double the size of the cost. Now, if I configure it this way, the cost is about the same, the space is close to the same, but they're actually going to do quadruple damage. I believe they're still sensitive to things like the shields reducing the damage of each warhead, but overall it's a huge win. You're much, much better off, if it works out, to go with the MERV missiles rather than the higher end missiles. I'm going to take off the Merculites. I'm also going to change this missile rack to be a 2-shot rack. This is how many sort of salvos it can fire. So by going to a 2-shot rack, it can only fire 2 rounds in a row, and then it will be out of ammo. But the advantage to that is it's much smaller. Now, it's actually half the size and the cost. We're back to the 11 and 13, even though I'm actually only getting 40% the number of missiles. But it means that my initial opening, my alpha strike, will be much better. In addition to that, I always put on another nuclear missile. I'm going to leave this one a 5-shot. I'm going to make it heavily armored and fast. So I'm going to have one of these, and then I'm going to max out the number of my MERV missiles. So I'm going to have 5 racks of those 2-shot MERVs, 1 rack of 5-shot armored and fast missiles. And what these guys will do is they will be ahead, they will be in front of the MERVs, and they will tank any point defenses that my enemies have. Okay, if they have point defense lasers or anti-missile rockets, they'll try to shoot down the missiles. Well, they're going to shoot down this one, which is not the MERV, so it's not my main source of damage. Also, because it's fast-moving, it's harder to shoot, and because it's armored, it takes more damage before it goes down. So all in all, this guy should take a lot of damage and should allow my MERVs to land unopposed. A lot of times I might also take, at least for my MERVs, I might take ECCM, Because you can get, I don't have it yet, but you can get ECM installed in your ship. That's electronic countermeasure. It gives you missile evasion. The basic one gives you like 70% missile evasion. So by installing electronic countermeasures on your missiles, you can cut down their missile evasion. I'm gambling though that at this point they probably don't have it, and actually I'm going to go and check their tech in a sec. But this is my missile boat. In fact, why not just call it that? We're going to call it the missile. Oops. Missile boat. Build that. So how long would it take to build on this planet? 9 turns. That's not bad. I think it's pretty good. So instead of building that battle station, let's build one of these missile boats. And we're going to be queuing up the same thing here. Now, because I have a starbase here, I can actually build a bigger ship. I'm wondering, though, maybe just building these cheaper little guys is not a bad idea. That's not bad, because I can have everyone sort of build them at the same time. And we can avoid the starbase here, build a missile boat. Get out more concurrently. Rather than waiting 20, 25 turns for a really awesome big ship, we can just wait 7 or 8 turns, well, a little bit more because they're going to build their robo-miner plants first, although that will reduce the actual construction time. So I don't think it'll be as powerful as going the big ship route, but it'll be much, much faster. And again, if we can beat them to some key technologies or some ships of their own, let's pull a report on these guys. So these are the Nolums. Anything in yellow they have and I don't. No, they have nothing that scares me. What about the humans? Telepathic training, well, that helps their espionage. No, I don't think any of these guys have ECCM. The Cylons might, but I'm hoping they stay at peace. So yeah, let's build these ships. One thing to note right here, actually, let me scrap my scout right now. Well, I'll show you in a sec. So this is your command points. I don't remember if I've talked about this already. I have 6 command points right now. This is based on, I think you get a flat amount. I think you get a base of 5, and then each starbase you build gives you an extra 1 command point. When you build a ship, ships use up your command points. When you run out of command points and you go into negative command points, then for every command point you're in the negative, it costs you 10 BC per turn. So the upkeep on ships is non-existent until you run out of command points, in which case the upkeep becomes quite crippling, actually. It's very, very harsh. So my scout is actually using 1. I've got 5 to spare out of my total of 6. So I'm going to disband him once I start getting the other ships, just to free up some command. Robo-miner plant is done. Starting pollution processor. And who are you? Director Chug, the planetologist. Wow, he's only cost me 20 BC because of my famous guy. So he's an environmentalist. He reduces pollution generated on a planet by 20%, which is quite nice. Farming leader plus 20%, which is okay. And he's a researcher plus 10, so he'll give me plus 10 research for free. I'm going to buy him because he's super cheap. I don't have anywhere to stick him right now, but he'll still contribute his research. And he gives me terraforming for free? That is huge for so many reasons. Terraforming is such a good tech. Plus, I think it's the only tech at that level, so I think that means I can actually skip a whole research level. We'll have to see when we get there. Yes, I accept 20 BC for a free tech. Hello! And the 10 research per turn. Love it. And ultimately, at some point, we're going to colonize another planet, at which point we'll stick him on the planet, and he'll do his environmentalist thing. Robo-miner plant done. Good. So these guys are producing well. The missile boat's still underway. We're still blockaded, but we're making progress. We got our shields. Oh, that's right, the shields. And mass drivers and stuff. Okay, let's go back to this. Now, the question is, do we actually want to install the shields on our missile boat? So I've gone back into the design screen, and by default, it always installs the best shield here. But shields take up a certain amount of space. You can see we're actually short 5 space now, because we've installed those. So I could lose a missile rack in exchange for having a much more defended ship. What can I add? 8 space left. Can I fit just a 2-shot? I can too. Well, okay. So this rack is not merved, but I think it's probably worthwhile, so I'm going to build this instead. Now, the one that's queued here, if I mouse over it, has no shield, so I actually have to dequeue this one and install this one. For clarity, I suppose I could have renamed this one or added, Mark II at the end of it or something like that, but we'll be okay.